Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome one and all for the second webinar of RheinBrücke's Return on Investment Calculation for Enterprise Systems. In the holy month of Ramzan, I wish all of you a blessed Ramzan. Stay blessed and stay safe. For the benefit of upcoming sessions, we would be recording this particular webinar as well. While the COVID-19 outbreak is posing a numerous challenge to business, choosing the right enterprise solution can be pivotal in improving your business efficiency by giving you greater visibility and control over the business process and your key performance matrices. Return on investment analysis can make your enterprise resource planning software selection process more efficient and transparent, which will eventually provide confidence to you about your investment even during the tough times. Additionally, it will help you to build a strong business case in investing for an enterprise solution. Myself, Srikanth, and I am the Director for Channel Management. RheinBrücke, along with its committed set of partners, are completely equipped to handle the challenges and opportunity in the market, the given area. Today's moderator, myself Srikanth, and we will have Mr. Suresh Chandrasekharan, our Chief Solution Architect, to run through the ROI program. Just to give you a brief introduction about RheinBrücke. RheinBrücke is an Epicor Platinum Partner, 2 times winner of International Partner of the Year, with a strong footprint in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We have immense experience and expertise in providing Epicor implementation and other enterprise software support services in providing global implementation more than a decade. Our team of experts can deliver solutions and offerings to address the need on the business on multiple verticals, including automotive, oil and gas, energy, discrete manufacturing, pharma, life sciences, engineering and construction, retail, distribution, trading, and other process-related industries as well. We have executed projects in more than 26 countries and are proud to be serving our customers across this location. And with the ecosystem of partners, we are thrilled to service the Middle East region, and we will be more than happy to run through the benefits and the other offerings to you. From a RheinBrücke services offerings, we do Epicor as an ERP, and this is available over cloud with a comprehensive pay-per-use mechanism. The data center is located in the location due to various compliance-related demands. We do have our own products called Merlin, which is a strategic sourcing product. This is completely going to address the strategic procurement needs for your enterprise. RheinBrücke is also a Microsoft partner, provides you global solutions in terms of business intelligence and other integrations and B2B, B2C solutions, including analytics. We do have a consulting and advisory offerings as a part of our overall boutique solution, partnering into Lobrex and Protima. This is about our service offering. Suresh Chandrasekharan is our Chief Technical Architect who will run through today's sessions to you. Suresh comes with more than 20 years of experience in solution architecture, pre-sales, and consulting. He has successfully implemented ERP across the world as Chief Solutions Architect. He comes with immense technical know-how and provides technical leadership and strategy in the domain of enterprise systems. His expertise enables strategic development and management of new solutions, which provides innovative solutions to customers, address business challenges, and ensure sustainable growth. So the key takeaway from today's ROI analysis for the audience: why ROI matters to you now more than ever, the factors that is considered for ROI calculation, ROI comparisons, whether it is on-premises or cloud, and we would also walk through this tool with you. Please have your questions handy and provide them through the chat window. We would address all the questions once the presentation is over. We will be more than glad to support you in that front as well. Thank you very much, Suresh. Over to you.
Thanks, Sri. Good afternoon, all of you. As Sri has mentioned, I don't have to reiterate or kind of put more focus on the kind of tough situation and time the entire business community is passing through. We have an unprecedented situation. This is something which we haven't faced either the whole generation, right? Or for the last couple of generations have ever faced similar kind of a situation. There is a growing demand on the business community, especially those of you who are in the IT and finance. There is a growing demand from the business in terms of enabling the work from home kind of a situation. There is a huge demand on the IT. There is a huge pressure on IT to enable people to work from home. There are a lot of things to be taken care, security, compliance, and all other kind of things when you are allowing people to work from home. This is not something which we have been practicing, at least in this part of the world. How do we make it easy? How do we help our co-workers and colleagues and the business stakeholders to take the best out of our system and do their day-to-day activities irrespective of whether they are in the office or at their home? How do we make sure that actually the business continuity is there? And whatever challenge we are facing today is not affecting the business in the day-to-day activity, in performing day-to-day activities, right? So that is where it becomes more relevant when it comes to the ROI program. Many of you would have experienced that actually the current infrastructure, current system is not allowing you, or it is a bottleneck for you to enable people from working from home. It may be the best time for you to think about changing your ERP system or other applications what you are using, so that you are adequately prepared for the upcoming challenges, right? This kind of challenges may come in the future as well. So how do you prepare yourself adequately in terms of overcoming this kind of challenges in future is the key question here. You may want to go for a new system. You may want to invest in new infrastructure. You may want to do many other investment, but how do you easily go and convince the board of directors or the investors to spend that kind of money? One of the questions they may be asking, hey, the entire business is down. I'm not able to see through the next couple of quarters. So how do you expect me to spend more money? The only way you will be able to convince them is by taking the ROI approach. Any person who wants to invest money would like to see the kind of return on investment, what they are going to get for the kind of investment what they are making. So how do we easily do that ROI calculation? As we all know, though it looks like a simple word, it is not something which is easy. There are so many different parameters to be considered when you are doing an effective ROI calculation. And again, when you even after you doing the ROI calculation, this is not something which you will be able to easily convince and justify if the ROI what you have forecasted, promised is something what you are getting. So there is a huge process in terms of starting today to till you are completing the end-to-end project, and after that there is a continuous evaluation is required in terms of the ROI to make sure that actually the goals and objective you set together, you put together is being achieved, and the ROI you have promised you will be able to deliver. We will be looking at what the ROI program is all about, what kind of considerations and points you have to consider when you do this ROI calculation, what questions you should ask yourself and your colleagues and your investors. The next question is basically, how can we help as RheinBrücke to help you in terms of doing this ROI calculation So you can go back to your management and say, hey, this is what I'm going to get it if we do this investment. If we don't do this, what we are going to miss out, so that you will be able to easily justify the demand and you will be able to be successful in that particular request. Then we will be talking about how the ROI calculation is being done, what benefits are we going to achieve out of it, and definitely there will be a time for question and answers as well. Now, the first question is basically, what is this ROI? Why is it important? If you consider any investment, irrespective of whether ERP or anything else, if you know what kind of benefits you are going to get out of it, then you will be able to successfully do that investment, that project, and you will be able to measure that as well. It is important for us to know what am I expecting, what am I going to get. Then you will be able to implement that properly. You will be able to measure that once it is being done. It is also important to look at what tangible benefits are we going to get. You also have to quantify the expected results. If you look at actually how do you quantify and what to quantify. Now, you definitely have a goal or an objective when you ask for certain investment, right? Let's take a simple case of an ERP project. What are all the potential benefits when you look at that ERP implementation? What kind of cost reduction we will be able to achieve if you do the project? Is it administrative cost or other operational cost? What kind of efficiency I'm going to bring in the overall sales process? Am I going to win more business? Is it possible for me to, let's say, reduce the overall inventory? So these are all the benefits which you need to quantify. In addition to the tangible benefits, what you're going to get, you also have to prepare the key objectives and performance indicators when you think about this particular project. How does it help you? If you do all these things, if you do the ROI calculation, what kind of results and benefits are you going to get it? First of all, it is easy for you to convince your management to take a decision, right? And you will be able to easily get approval for such kind of a project. And even when you're doing the project, you will also get to see that actually you can easily measure whether we are successful in implementing that or not, and to what extent we have achieved our goals. So it is all about actually you understand what is the objective and whether we are able to achieve that objective or not. That is what the ROI program is all about and what result it's going to bring for you. Now, there are a lot of points which you need to consider when it comes to the ROI program. As I said earlier, you have to quantify the benefits. You have to clearly look at whether this ERP is going to bring down my overall inventory. Is it something which is going to help me to reduce my administrative cost? Is it something which is going to help me in terms of doing a better or developing a better customer experience? Is it going to help me to improve my market share? Is it going to help me in terms of shortening my order to delivery cycle? Now, the moment I receive an order today, it may take 15 days, 20 days for me to complete the delivery. Now, is it going to make it better? Is it going to help me? What is stopping me from doing a better service today? And how much it is going to help me actually once the system is there? And what my competitors are doing today, and is it going to help me in terms of doing better than what my competitors are doing? So is it going to help me in terms of making my process better and lean and more efficient? So these are all the typical questions you may be asked, or you can ask yourself when you are going for such kind of a project. So it is important for you to look into all these different aspects when you do your ROI calculation, right? Now, once these things are done, what RheinBrücke can help you, how RheinBrücke can help you. Now, definitely all of you, when you go for an investment, you definitely have a selection process. It's not something you have money, you are going to the market and buying something and coming, right? ERP or any other kind of capital investment, you must be doing a thorough due diligence in terms of before selecting a product. There are multiple stages involved in that actually. You have to first of all understand and define a need. You will say that actually, what are all the KPIs if I am going to get this and how am I going to measure it? That's what the question we have asked a couple of minutes ago. You definitely will have to formulate a team. You have to specify your requirement. You also have to do an ROI analysis. It's not something which you can do yourself, right? So it is important for you to put the business pain points today. It is important for you to understand what issues you have. How am I going to overcome that issues? And what are all the key objectives and goals I am going to set aside? How am I going to perform this ROI calculator? What is the objective and goals? You have to list down all these different things. And it's also important to measure your project is successful or not. And it is also going to help you to see your continuous improvement in the overall process. Now, ROI, as I said earlier, it is not something you do it one time, you stop it. If you want to gain the real benefit of an ERP or any investment, it may take time. So it is something which you keep on assessing. A continuous assessment is being done in terms of getting the right result out of it actually. So it is all about defining what the process is. It is also about actually what stage you are going to do it, what kind of benefits are we going to get when we talk about the ROI analysis. It is a 360-degree analysis. First of all, you calculate the ROI, find out how long does it take for me to get the ROI and what am I going to get it. Then you are going to continuously assess the situation, review it, measure it. You set up the checkpoints. And you say that actually, I want to measure my success against each of those checkpoints. Now, once this ROI analysis is done, when you are doing the project, this is what we do in terms of clearly articulating and explaining what is the ROI we have calculated as far as this project is concerned. Get an agreement from the project team as well as different stakeholders about the key performance indicators and the goals and objectives. We also have to agree on different checkpoints in terms of measuring whether we are successful or not, or whether we are able to achieve that or not actually, right? So it is very key when it comes to achieving those goals is another key milestone when it comes to that. If you look at the overall ROI calculator, there are a lot of effort being spent in terms of coming out with this tool. There are hundreds of research and analysis being done by famous research organizations like AMR, Gartner, Aberdeen, Forrester, so on and so forth. And I'm sure you must have heard about all those researchers and analysts. They have looked at actually several projects, why it is successful, what are the key reasons for a project to fail, right? What are the things to be done in terms of making a project successful? We also have looked at actually thousands of our implementation in terms of what helped us, in which project we had challenges, and what did we do in terms of overcoming those challenges? What was the reason for those challenges? We have done several research and analysis by ourselves. We also have spoken with our customers and several consultants as part of a preparation for this particular ROI analysis. Now, it is always important to know that actually the benefits and objectives what we want to achieve. You may think actually, I have certain standard tool sets and standard attributes to look at in terms of doing my ROI analysis. Why don't I use that and do it as it is? The question here is basically a simple thing, right? The one size doesn't fit all. Although you are in the same business with your peers and colleagues and other competitors, the process which you have been following and what you're doing today is completely different from the other companies. So it is always important for us to understand what is our pain points are, what kind of changes and tweaking will help me to get the maximum result. That is key and relevant when it comes to doing this ROI analysis. That is exactly what is going to help you. So when you look at the ROI analysis, as I said, we have developed a tool, and this tool is going to help in terms of doing this analysis. There are certain key assumptions or figures and facts to be captured when you do that. You can see on the right-hand side the key elements which you are going to capture, right? It is important to know what your annual revenue is. What kind of profit are you generating today? What is your gross margin? What is your operating cost? What is your current headcount? So on and so forth. It is important for you to capture those information. And some of those informations are not readily available. If you look at actually what's my inventory carrying cost, do we have that figure on hand? We may not be, right? So cost of capital. So many of those elements, we may not have the results on our hand. We have developed set of tools to help our customers to calculate these values, so we will be able to do a effective ROI calculation. So it is important for us to fill in all those values, all those assumptions, all those facts and figures when we are doing the ROI analysis, and to make sure that actually we have the necessary data in terms of calculating this. It is also important in terms of the ROI, what we are calculating is based on what kind of functional area. Now, you may say that each and every organization may have a different implementation approach. You may say that I'm going to do only financials and supply chain initially. Some organization might say my key struggle is in the construction or project execution. Some people will say that actually overall the challenge what I have is basically my customer facing team. So it is important for you to look at what kind of functional modules and capabilities you capture, and what exactly we are going to do it in terms of doing this analysis, right? I'm sorry, I'm just having some issues on my... Just give me a second. Sri, do you want to take the presentation control, Sri?
Yes, Suresh. Give me a minute.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Suresh, can you see the screen?
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Suresh, can you see the slide number 30? That's what is mounted. Is it viewed? Kumar or Santosh, can one of you respond to me?
Yes, Sri, I can see the slide.
Yeah.
I think we lost Suresh. Looks like he has some network issue. Let's just wait for a minute. Meanwhile, people can log their questions into the chat window.
Yeah. I would encourage the participants to type in their questions in the window. We would be glad to answer them. Just to summarize the points suggested by Suresh, this engagement is done like a consulting basis. The overall exercise probably takes initially 3 days to a week when we do that initially. And this is not something to be done with immediately. This is more like an ongoing check that is required. Periodically, where do we stand from a ROI perspective? Are we going in the right direction? Where is the project? And combined with the project audit, time to time tweaking on the ROI is also done. So the combined exercise over a period of time yields a report back to the management in terms of what is the ROI, where do we stand, what are all the KPIs, are we gaining them, are we measuring them during our course of implementation, and how far we are improving in the due course is something we would like to convey to the customer. So as I was explaining, RheinBrücke, with its strong ecosystem of partners, we are equipped more than ever before to provide a very clear service to our prospects in terms of the enterprise evaluation on a larger enterprise spend, be it on-premise or be it cloud. We'll be glad to provide you this. And as a part of offerings for the first 3 inquiries, basically, we would like to do this as a gesture of our service, and we'll be able to assist you to come out with a very clear ROI computation for your management. So please do write back to us on the email ID info@rhinix.com. We would be recording the questions. If you have any, definitely we can take a look at those questions as well. So there is a question from Pranav Kumar. How do we get access to the ROI calculator? This is a tool that is
can you
yeah, Suresh, welcome back, Suresh. Suresh, there is a first question from, yeah, over to you, Suresh. The question is, yeah.
Sorry, Sri, can
Suresh,
you go back to the slide? We can continue from where we have stopped. I'm sorry.
Yes, please. Can you see the slide?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So, guys, sorry for the technical challenge. Something gone wrong with my laptop, so I had to switch my kind of machine. So I'm sorry for that, actually. So coming back to where we have stopped, the 360-degree assessment in terms of the ROI, it is all about planning and identifying the benefits and going and continuously evaluating and assessing the benefits what we have achieved during the whole process, right? That is what the 360-degree analysis what we are talking about. Now, it is not something, as I said, achieved on a day. Initially, we set the target, we do the project, then we go and assess continuously. Sri, please. Right? Now, we also have seen, are you on the last slide, Sri? Sorry?
Yeah.
No, you will have to go back, actually. You'll have to go back. Sorry, go back. Go back, please. Go back. Go back. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So what we have agreed earlier is, what we have discussed earlier is basically the kind of modules and functionalities what we need to look at it. Now, each organization will have different target, different phase-wise approach in terms of how we are going to deliver this particular project. Some organization will definitely look at my current problems and the maximum benefit I'm going to get is from automating my sales process, right? Some organization might say that my go-forward strategy and plan is all about doing an e-commerce platform and doing my sales using e-commerce platform, especially considering the current business challenge. Some organization might see that the biggest challenge, there are so many companies today, they have reached out to us and said, hey, all of a sudden I have seen a sudden spike in the production. My capacity is not helping me to manage that production volume. So how best you can help me in terms of managing and looking at capacity and what is the best way of utilizing those capacity. So each organization will have different challenge. They definitely look at what is the low-hanging fruit and what is going to serve me the best in the immediate future and based on which they plan it. So we definitely will have to consider what modules and what functionality, what we are going to do to get the best ROI. This is the next phase in the ROI program. Sri, please. Now, the next important aspect is basically, as I said earlier, the potential benefits, right? Now, we definitely wanted to see what are all the kind of benefits we are expecting from the project. Now, some organization might say, my operational cost is too high. Does this ERP implementation help me to bring down my operational cost? Does it help me in terms of down my inventory? Now, you look at it, in most of the organization, they are carrying 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months of inventory. Do they really need to carry that inventory? What is the average lead time in terms of getting that material? What is your monthly sales? How much inventory to carry? And does it help me in terms of bring down my inventory? Does it help me to improve my gross margin? Is it going to help me in terms of improving my customer experience, right? And how is it going to help me in terms of getting an operational control, especially people are working from home. Many of them are not working together. When we are all working in a single office, sitting together, chatting with each other on a daily basis will get you know more about the business. But when you are not meeting day-to-day basis and you're all sitting in different silos, how easily we can gain the operational control is another important aspect. So we need to look at each and every element and identify what's the potential benefit we are going to get. And that is very key when it comes to that actually, right? Sri? What we also have done is, if the benefit is not a one-liner, right? What kind of benefits am I going to get from my estimation process? It is not that easy for you to calculate it, right? Now, it is important for you to look at what process is being followed today when it comes to estimation or quotation process. How much time is being spent and how many people are working on it? And how long does it take in terms of doing it in the changed new world, right? or I would say post-COVID, post-ERP world, how much time it is going to consume. In terms of the sales process, how many salespeople are there? And many organizations, you must have seen, there are order processing people. Their job is to come in the day and keep on entering new orders into the system and just processing it, right? How many of such people are there? How do we improve that? Is it something we can ask our customers to place orders? Is it something we can ask them to send an email and the system will capture and convert that into an order? So we don't have to have so many people sitting and doing clerical job and keying in information, right? And how is my engineering team working today? Are they in a silo? Am I getting that information seamlessly into the ERP on the other systems? So I have a single version of the truth rather than having different information silos, right? All these informations are easily and seamlessly being consumed by the finance. We always say that actually finance is more of a team who consumes information rather than creating information. So am I able to consume all the information generated by different teams easily and report my financials on time, right? How long does it take? Many organizations, you must have seen that actually, though you have done the month closing, it takes 10 days for the people to generate their monthly financial reports. Because many of the informations are not readily available. They have to redo many information. How easy for you to get the control on your project? What is my estimate to complete? How much more money do I have in terms of executing that project? And do I get enough alarms and alerts when I'm doing at least 70% of my cost, right? Incurring 80% of the cost. How easily we can get that information and take necessary action well in advance than doing a postmortem. So each and every section, this is just a sample sheet, but each and every section and function in your organization, we have worksheet prepared in terms of breaking down each and every activity we do and what kind of effort is being spent today and what kind of effort is required in terms of achieving that in the changed world in the post-ERP era. That is very important when you, from the overall ROI perspective. Unless you know what is being done today and what is going to be the changed world, and how do we do that? That is all about what the processes are there in the system, how we can make things easy for the user community, what kind of potential benefit the system is going to bring in, and tool system is going to provide in terms of automating the whole process, right? Today, you may be saying, I get 1,000 AP per supplier invoices. Somebody sit and keying in that. The question is basically, why don't you bring in an AP automation tool with a complete document management capability where with OCR facility, so I don't have to sit and key in my invoices. System is going to easily capture that, convert that, put it into the screen. I need to just look at and review it and update it, right? So that kind of capabilities, does the system have that capability? How is it going to help me in terms of achieving my overall goal? What kind of improvement it is going to give me when it comes to the application? These are all the questions we need to ask ourselves and make sure that actually the proper values are updated for getting the right ROI. Sri, please. Now, once we have done all these things, right, what we have done so far is we looked at what functionality, what capability are we going to do, what streams are we going to implement. The second thing is basically we also looked at the initial assessment and data capture in terms of the key parameters in terms of my total revenue, my gross margin, my employee cost, operational cost, so on and so forth. We also have looked at actually what kind of potential benefit or improvement in the process and efficiency improvement what we are going to achieve. Now, once we have done all these things, system is going to give you a list of benefits, what you are going to achieve out of it. Now, again, as I said earlier, one size doesn't fit all. You may have list of benefits, but unfortunately, it may not be the same for the next company. It depends on your current process maturity and the way you do business today and the type of what business you do today, the benefits are going to be different. though certain benefits are common. Some of the details may always differ from business to business. Hence, we have to revisit that. We have to look at what kind of benefits are we achieving out of this process is very key. So you have list of benefits, predefined benefits based on different industry studies, analysis, research, and our experience. But you definitely have the capability in terms of going and fine-tuning that to fit more to your organization and your company. So we have the right values to support our ROI calculation. Sri.
Yeah.
So once we have done that, now the next part is basically all about capturing your cost. When I say that, there are multiple things you need to look at it. First of all, what is the current cost in terms of our infrastructure, the applications we use today, the kind of IT, the people support organization we have today to support the IT organization? We have to capture the current cost we are incurring. We also have to look at the kind of cost we have on hand and what we are planning to invest, or the kind of cost we need or require in terms of doing this new project. This is in regards to software, your infrastructure, your consulting, that is services cost in terms of putting the system together. The services cost is not only the cost which you are paying to a third-party vendor, it is also the cost you are incurring internally from your time you are going to invest for this particular project. The cost of maintenance, AMC cost, you are talking about ongoing training cost, the internal cost, and you are talking about the other systems and admins and so on and so forth, right? You have to consider all these costs in addition to the benefits what you're getting and the overall key aspects and assumptions you do. Once we have done all these things, what the system is going to do is providing you with the ROI analysis and summary. When we talk about ROI, it's going to tell you what is going to be the net return, how long does it take in terms of providing you that net return, what is going to be the return on investment. Now, if you don't take a decision today and implement the system, what is going to be the impact on your business? What kind of money are you going to lose? So if you don't take a decision, in every month you will be losing this much money. That is interesting, right? So people may not be excited when somebody go and say, hey, you are going to gain this much if you do this project. But if somebody go and tell someone, you will be losing this much money if you don't do this, people will jump on a decision, right? It is very important in terms of looking at what potential loss we are going to make in addition to the gain, right? And it is very important, and this tool is going to help you in terms of analyzing that. And you can always look at, again, as I said, the ROI is not something you get overnight. It may take 6 months, it may take 12 months, depends on your process maturity, what you are doing today, the way you are doing business today, and the kind of complexity you have it, so on and so forth. Now, looking at all these different aspects, you will be able to identify what potential gain as well as what I'm going to lose if I don't take a decision, and how long does it take in terms of getting that money back is very key when it comes to the overall ROI calculation. Now, what we have talked about earlier, right? When we have seen the ROI summary, where we are looking at each of those different broken down elements. If you look at different functional areas in the organization, right? You have estimation team, engineering team, sales team, project team, so on and so forth. Each of those areas, what kind of how many people are working today to support that function? what kind of reduction in number of hours you can anticipate. Or in other ways, today I need 15 people in my organization to do purchasing. The reason is basically I get a hell lot of paper requisitions. I need to check whether I have stock of those items, and I need to raise manual POs and send it to someone. The suppliers send me all spreadsheets. I need to sit and tabulate and see what is the best price and where do I get it. You may say that actually it takes one person can only process 15 or 20 POs in a day because the kind of complexity what is involved and other additional manual work. In the changed world, since it is all automated, the inventory visibility is being provided, system will generate requisitions only if there is not enough inventory and there is a need. So I can blindly trust the system. Many of the manual tasks has been eliminated, or in other ways, all non-value added process has been kept out. Now we will do only what is necessary to perform our day-to-day activities. So you may say that instead of 15, I need only 8 people in the changed world. That is what is going to help you in terms of looking at how many headcounts do you have today and how many headcounts you will be able to relocate into other departments so you can do a better value-added job. So your cost is getting converted into revenue. You have more people to generate revenue rather than more people to incur costs. That is the way you need to look at it. So that is what the overall ROI we do. We perform this kind of activities when we do this ROI calculation. Sri, please. Now, along with this, what we do is basically when we calculate the ROI, you definitely have certain objectives, as we said earlier. You also say that actually we have also looked at different industry standards. Now, best-in-class softwares and organizations, they are getting certain return on investment on or reduction in cost or performance improvement on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 50 or whatever. There are certain standards which you can compare with. So this exercise is going to help you in terms of looking at reviewing, analyzing the ROI, what you have calculated. Is it in line with the industry standards, or is it in line with the achievement what the best-in-class companies and best-in-class processes achieve? So the tool has got the best-in-class performance, and you will be able to always benchmark your results with the best-in-class results, and that also help you in terms of making sure you are doing the right things. It's not something we are estimating ROI very high and we will have a trouble tomorrow, right? So we always look at actually our ROI with best-in-class performance and make sure that actually we are doing the right thing. The tool has got all those values readily available. Shri, please. Once we have done this, as I said earlier, it is important for you to track this, monitor this on an ongoing basis. Today you have calculated it. Now you also will look at, you have defined different checkpoints, different stages on which you will analyze this, monitor this, right? So you have the tool available. As and when you capture the results on the ongoing basis, system is going to tell you where are we in terms of your ROI. Is there any change? Are we going to get it better, or is it going to take slightly longer? So system is going to give you that kind of analysis information as part of this process, and you will be able to do that as well. Sri, please. So the overall process, initially we set the target, we do the ROI, we communicate that to the project team. The project team will do the project. We have different stages to continuously measure, assess the situation. And what we also do is basically the whole process, we analyze this as well as post-implementation. we will do this again. Now, once the implementation is over, this has been done. As we all say, once the ERP project is being done, it may take slightly longer for you to see or yield the right results, right? It may take 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. There is a continuous improvement process you undertake, and each stage you will be looking at actually what kind of ROI, what kind of ROI are we getting, and is it getting better, and what is the real-time scenario, right? The ROI program, it is not only just doing it once, it is all about actually continuously assessing it, continuously reviewing it, and making sure that actually this is not a one-time activity, and that is what we help you in terms of getting there and achieving that, right? Go, see. Now, to just recap on what we have discussed earlier, all of you will go through the evaluation process when you go and invest in an ERP. And generally what happens is basically there are organizations where they have a very matured process and steps in terms of evaluating and selecting a system. We may not go through all these steps, but at the end of the day, all of us will have all these points we touch upon when we select an ERP. We identify a need, we definitely kind of formulate a team to evaluate it, we definitely go through a presentation, review, so on and so forth, right? So though it is in a structured way or not, people always do this kind of process, and it is an additional step in the overall evaluation process where we help our customers to do an ROI analysis. Now, when we talk about RheinBrücke, any projects we undertake, it is a step which we mandatorily do. The methodology what we follow, that is scale methodology. The scale methodology, one of the key elements is basically ROI analysis. Any of our channel partner, the project what they undertake, they are all certified on the scale methodology. And the scale methodology, one of the key elements is the ROI analysis which they do in the beginning. And the same ROI will be reported, and they do a continuous assessment throughout the project, and they will report it back once the project is done in terms of what we have projected in the beginning and what we have achieved. All of our channel partners are certified on the methodology and the ROI program. This is what I have explained earlier. There are thousands of implementations we have done along with our channel partners, and all those input has been taken into consideration when it comes to the ROI calculation program, as well as actually how that is going to how we can easily translate that into the tangible benefits, right? See, please. Now, if you have any questions, or if any of you are interested in terms of undertaking this particular exercise, you can reach to any of our channel partner, or you can reach out to info@reinix.com, and the people will reach out to you in terms of doing this necessary analysis, ROI studies, and to help you in terms of evaluating a system, right? As I said earlier, we are going through an unprecedented situation, right? It is the right time for taking the right decision. And when we talk about how we are going to take the right decision is with facts and figures. It is important for us to know what kind of returns are we going to get when we do something. And that is what exactly this program will help you to achieve. And in the long run, you will see that actually what you have reported is what you are getting. And you will be able to convince the overall stakeholders in the organization, and you can tell them this is the benefit we have achieved after the project, right? Thank you very much, and once again, sorry for all these challenges what we have gone through. Something has gone wrong with my laptop, and I had to reconnect with a different device. I'm sorry for that, and once again, my apologies. Now it is time for questions. you can post your questions to the chat window, and we will pick up that questions and provide answers to that actually. And thank you very much.
Yeah, Suresh, we have 3 questions so far. Question from Pranav. How can we gain access to the ROI tool? Can you please guide?
Right. See, Pranav is Insereto, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Pranav, you definitely have access. You being one of our partner, you have access to the ROI tool, and we will, as part of the onboarding process, the sessions what we have planned, we will discuss the ROI tool, and we will kind of take you through the whole process and help you to use this particular tool.
Yeah, there is another interesting question. What differentiates a good ERP from bad one?
See, from my point of view, actually, yeah, it is probably a good question, right? And if you look at it, what differentiates a good ERP to bad ERP? I would always say that actually what the customers, the prospects who evaluate a system, what they need to look at is basically, first of all, who does the project for you? And what is the methodology they follow? See, many times, unless you know the benefits and you are able to tell somebody, hey, this is what I am going to help you to achieve, if they have a doubt in their mind, I don't think actually they are adequately prepared for delivering that project, right? It is all about the right people. Many of the ERPs, if you look at the standard features, right? If you want to just do your financials, if you want to just do your sales, procurement, so on and so forth, many of the ERP will serve that purpose, right? But that is not what you need. That can be done with a very small software. What you need to look at today is basically, the ERP is no longer a transaction capturing system. What additional capability the system is going to provide, right? Does the system help me in terms of working on different devices or on the move? Does it have the technological advantage in terms of I may work from home today, I may work while I'm traveling, so on and so forth. You may say that actually, I don't want to sit and code all my invoices into the system. I need to have a capability where it automatically captures the data based on a PDF document and convert that into a transaction. So I will be able to get easily all the invoices booked into the system. You may say that actually, I want to have several integrations, and does the system allow me to do that? Does the system allow me to continuously improve? Does it have the capability? If you are talking about actually the manufacturing, does it help me to do the automation from shop floor to top floor, right? These are all the potential questions you need to ask to your ERP vendor. That's number one. Number two is basically the partner whom you are going to work with is adequately prepared in terms of the ROI definition, in terms of the methodology, what they are going to use, right? That is what is going to make the difference. A good ERP implementation to a bad ERP implementation, you have to seriously look at you are selecting the right partner, and that partner has got a methodology to report what the goal and target we are going to achieve, and report it back once the implementation is done. They should be able to prove it. Yes, what they have reported is something what we have got it, right? The last question is basically the on-prem to cloud.
Yeah.
Good question. Now, from a system point of view, you have seen one stage where I am capturing all the cost elements, right? What is my hardware cost, software cost, maintenance cost, other implementation, so on and so forth. Now, that is one area where it is going to make an absolute difference when it comes to cloud versus on-prem. If you look at your cloud infrastructure or cloud subscription, you don't need your hardware. You don't need, you won't have an element called maintenance and annual maintenance contract, because you are on a subscription. So we will take care of that aspect during that stage, and based on the deployment model, we will consider only the necessary element in terms of capturing the ROI calculation. And finally, that will give you the right result. If it is on-prem, what is going to be the ROI? If it is going to be the cloud, what is going to be the ROI, right? There are also the deployment model may vary, right? Because typical process in terms of a on-prem deployment, you may go through the typical business process review, then gap assessment, so on and so forth. But in a cloud model, you may go through a rapid implementation methodology where you want to subscribe only to the, let's say, the best practice processes, right? So again, the question is basically, does your partner has got the best practice methodology for each industry developed? Do they have all the artifacts in terms of doing such project? These are all key elements, differentiators. I think that will be considered as part of the ROI assessment, though it will help us in terms of getting the right forecast as well as comparing our actual against that forecast once the implementation is done.
Thank you, Suresh. We don't have any further questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your active participation. We had an overwhelming request in the last webinar to accommodate more people. Roughly 36 people wanted to participate. So we want to split this and do this over a period of time, and we'll be continuing this every week. And as a part of the initial offer, we would like to provide you free ROI calculation for your ERP evaluation. Please reach out to our sales members who are all discussing with you. And RheinBrücke is committed as a team, and we believe in teamwork with our charged partner ecosystem. We are happy to service, and we believe in win-win-win-win strategy where customer wins, the partner wins, and the RheinBrücke and our OEM wins. So 4 wins are essentially our hallmark, and we are glad to assist you on all the technical front and evaluation going forward. Additionally, if you have questions, please do write to us on info@rheinix.com. Stay tuned for our next webinar. Have a good evening and stay safe. Thank you very much.